Hope you've been following my series on different kinds of conditions we're talking about during this sort of like mini course that I put together. We're going to talk about bowel problems today, in particular constipation. Okay, it's a really big topic. A lot of people suffer from constipation in America and in many other countries. I think it's getting worse, this problem, rather than better. And primarily because of, click, 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 internet, cell phone use. So people are becoming less mobile, they're becoming more stationary. People are living in smaller houses, like tiny homes, they're walking less. People are more scared, they're fearful about going out because of, crime and all this kind of business, and disease, and, coughing and sneezing in your arm and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, the world's changing. But it shouldn't stop your bowel from working. Think about that. You should still be able to get up every morning and go to the bathroom and sit there with a newspaper or your cell phone or your thoughts or whatever and go to the bathroom and do a number 2. So let's talk about the 4 key ways that you're going to really help to get the bowel working. Basic stuff, basics often best. All right. I just looked at a Mayo Clinic YouTube video on constipation. It went for 59 seconds and it had 1.4 million views. And they were telling you to drink 75 ounces of water a day. Man, that's a lot of water. You'd be looking for the bathroom all the time, wouldn't you? It's up to you how much water you drink, but the first point is hydration. So my recommendation always is to have water. Can you hear that? I mean, it's not beer, that's water. So my recommendation is always to have a glass of water there, or a container of water when you're on the screen. If you're going to do any work, have something there. So instead of a can of some fizz or pop or alcohol or something, the water. The water's the big one. Your body can't function properly without water, but what you're going to find is all aspects of digestive health will improve when you are more hydrated. All aspects. But also your sleep will improve, your skin will look better, and you'll just feel better mentally as well, just from hydration. That's the difference it can make. So a can of fizzy drink is not a substitute for a glass of water. It can make a big difference. That's the key one, is hydration. So, and you've probably heard that a million times before. Those plants behind me wouldn't look half as good without water at least twice a week. Hydration. It's amazing, isn't it? I find the same in the garden. A lot of people don't water enough, so they don't get crops. So hydration, it's everything. Your body's made up out of water, isn't it? So the second one, of course, that the Mayo side talk about is fiber. Now fiber's a key one because you need that roughage to get things moving through the large intestine especially. There's a lot of build-up of bacteria in there. So to get the right kind of bacteria growing in the colon, but also in the terminal part of the small bowel, you need the right bacteria. And the right bacteria like fiber. And there are different types of fibers. Many different types of fibers you can eat. Insoluble fiber, there's soluble fiber, there's partially soluble fiber. Fibers are often prebiotic by nature, so they feed the bacteria and make them happy. And those bacteria, in turn, confer huge benefits for your health. We're just starting to really discover through research how much benefit the bacteria are. In fact, the bacteria in your gut govern most functions of your neurological function and now your endocrine system. So lots of aspects of how we think and feel are connected to those guys down there in the bowel. So we've got to get that bowel working well. So when I think back of a lot of these books I've got here behind me, some of them, going back to turn of the century health books, they all focus on bowel function, getting the bowel working, making people poop, But what they didn't know is the different types of bacteria that we've got in the gut, thousands of different types of bacteria we've got, and how those bacteria confer benefits to our immune system and reduce inflammation and even stop cancers from forming. We know that now, and we're going to learn a lot more in the future. Up to you to eat what you want, but the fiber comes predominantly from nuts, seeds, grains, vegetables, and fruits. So I really like people my age plus to eat a couple of nuts every day, maybe 1 or 2 Brazil nuts, 3 or 4 or 5 almonds, but you've got to chew and chew and chew. And that's the thing, you've got to chew stuff. Chewing stuff really breaks open that grain and that nut, that seed, and it allows all the goodness to come out. But the chewing act also stimulates the gut function. So the chewing part goes with the food. That's why I'm not a really big fan of food that comes out of factories, and why I prefer stuff that grows in the ground or on the ground, is you're going to have a more ability to get a lot better fiber quality and chew that to extract all the goodness out of it. So quality food, chewing, will make a big difference when it comes to going to the bathroom. So needless to say, fruit is one of the key fibers, in my opinion, that help to get the gut working. Key fruits to eat would be pineapple and papaya or pawpaw. Pawpaw and pineapple are two very good foods to get the small bowel and large bowel working quite well. Good for bacteria and many other benefits. But other fruits are good too. Apples and pears are probably the best fiber to get that bowel stimulated to make it work really well. People who eat one apple a day never have a pooping problem. People who eat one pear a day, same thing, they don't have a problem. But when you start eating, pizzas and Coca-Cola and chicken nuggets, you're going to have a problem. So always try and sneak some fruit in every day, and vegetables. Well, I prefer have a salad every day and also some steamed vegetables or stir-fried vegetables. So you need to incorporate different vegetables into the diet, to really make it work well for you. So that's the hydration and the fiber. Those are the two key aspects to bulk up the stool, make it work. But the third one is a very key one to bring all that together, and that's the movement, or getting the body active to get that bowel really working. In the old days, people would have a meal and then maybe relax after and go for a walk. Well, people don't walk now. They walk from the lounge to the TV set and sit down, and they're binging on Netflix, with a 6-pack of beer and that. So that's not really going to get the bowel working, is it? So everyday walking, it's the basic exercise that's the best for constipated people. I always found in the clinic that when I had a seriously constipated patient and I inquired into their walking habits, well, there basically weren't any walking habits. There were car driving habits, and that was it. So walking, fiber, water. Number 4, stress. So when you're under stress, the sympathetic dominance, where we're producing excess cortisol and hormones like adrenaline and other hormones as well, our production of beneficial hormones drops, stress hormones go up, and the gut starts changing. It starts gearing itself up for that fight or flight response. And what happens under fight or flight? We're running away from a dinosaur chasing us. The bowel doesn't work. The digestion shuts down, which is normal under stress. So under the parasympathetic or relaxation mode, it's the opposite. The bowel opens up. We can breathe better. The heart rate drops down. The immune system improves. All these things improve under the parasympathetic, or the next to the stress system. And chewing stimulates that parasympathetic response. Breathing slowly and deeply, and resting and relaxing. All these things are conducive to getting that bowel working. So I hope you got a bit out of that today. Hydration, fiber. What was number 3? I'm getting old. Movement. And then the 4th one was stress. So those are 4 key things that I recommend to get on top of constipation. Check out ericbakker.com/constipation, and that will give you all the rundown on how to poop even better. Thanks for tuning in.